Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can see or hear me, but I'm gonna try my best to make this work. This is the first time I've kind of just randomly gone live like this, so I don't know. You all tell me, can you see me? Somebody? Oh, look, wait, I'm clicking on this. I think it's just me. But that is okay because what I figure I will do is if you're watching this later, I will I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know. This is just new. Hopefully somebody gets alerted that I'm here. So I'm going to do some math. What kind of math do I want to do? You know, I want to continue with some finance math. So let's do finance, math, and here we go. Let's see. It's a scrolling problem. I got to get better at this. I really just do. I'm hoping this helps somebody. So we were doing some LTV problems earlier, so I figure I can continue doing these, or if somebody decides to join me, tell me what you want me to do, because I don't know, it's just me. So let's start with number 2. I'm going to do number 2 just because. And again, if you're here and there's something in particular you want me to do, holler. So Ryan is under contract to purchase a home for $209,750, $209,750. The appraisal has come back at $202,750. What is the maximum loan he can receive with an 80% LTV ratio? Well, all right. We learned earlier today, if you were watching, that an LTV ratio is comparing the loan to the value of the property. And this particular problem is trying to get you. It's telling you that it's under contract for $209,750, but the appraisal came back at $202,750. What does that mean? Well, that means as far as the bank is concerned, this property is only worth $202,750. Because remember, when the bank gets an appraisal, what you want to do is say, well, they're basically saying, if somebody defaults, what could they get at foreclosure? So as far as the bank is concerned, if they had to sell this at foreclosure, they would get $202,750. So if they're getting an 80% LTV, we're going to do 80% of this $202,750. So $202,750, and actually times 80%. Let me grab my calculator and let me not mess up my computer here. 202,750. That is 162,200. That would be the maximum loan. But guys, remember the purchase price is $209,750. That's the price of the home. But the loan will be for $162,200. So the difference will be the down payment this buyer, Ryan, needs. So $202,750 subtract $162,200, $209,750. Helps if I say the right number. It looks like it would be $47,550. That would be the down payment. It wasn't what they're asking, but it's what I want to make sure we talk about. Let's see. Oh, Candace, that's Joan. Reading my own name. Let me put what you just did on the screen. So, boom. The buyer agreed to pay $175,000 for a property. They obtain a 90% loan and a 2.5% discount points, 1% origination fee. How much will the buyer owe at closing? Okay, so let's switch here. And I'm going to put the details of this problem back on the screen just for a second. So I'm going to say it is $175,000 property. It's a 90% LTV, 2.5 discount points, and it is a 1% origination fee. All right, so we're going to do this problem. Thank you, Joan. Let's go. Oh, and somebody asked how to do a tutoring session with me. If you go to calendly.com, Candace, you can tutor with me. It's got a link to my schedule. All right, so first step, we got to find a loan amount because both our discount points and our origination fee are based off of the loan. So if it's a $175,000 property, we're going to multiply it by 90%. So this is the value, and this is the loan rate. That's going to give us a loan amount. Now, at any time, if I do something and you need me to stop and go, okay, but where did you get that from, Candace? Just let me know. Just let me know. That's what I need to do. And let's see. 175 times 90% gives us, I got 157,500. That's our loan amount. So if we know our loan amount, we can use it first to find the amount of discount points, which are 2.5. Well, one discount point is equal to 1%. So I'm going to say if our loan is for 157,500, if I multiply by 1%, 1 point costs $1,575. So 2.5, I could take that $1,575 and multiply it by 2.5. And that's going to give me, let's see, that gives me $3,937.50. That's for the discount points. So that was step 2. And then step 3 is we need the loan origination fee, which is 1%, which we found up here. So that was $1,507.50. So wait, $1,575. I know my numbers. I do. There we go. So step 4, if it's asking us for everything that, is owed, what's the total for origination fees and discount points, it would be this, take that back, this plus this. So I'm going to do $3,937.50 plus $1,575, and that's going to give me, I got $5,512.50. Final answer. Let me know what questions you have. Joan, specifically for you, does this help? Now, as a side note, you know what I could have done? I could have done step 2 to say, hey, if our points, if our discount points, yeah, I can say R. That says R. You can't tell. 2.5%. And you've got the loan origination fee is 1%. That gives you 3.5%. Let me scroll up. And I could have said the loan amount, 157,500 times 3.5%. And just going to make sure my math is right, 157,500 times 3.5%. And what do you know? Same number, 5,512.50. Same answer. So either way, you said, so you start getting all the things that were asked for after you do the loan. Yes, because remember, it's all based off of this loan amount because it is a discount point. What are you discounting? The discount points means you have a lower interest rate. And that has to do with the loan. Your origination fee is a loan origination fee. The bank is charging you money because they lent you money. You don't want to pay a fee based off of monies that you didn't actually borrow. So it's all about the loan amount. Yay? Does that make sense? Yes, I'm hoping so. So our final answer is right here. You could either do it, this way, or you could do it this way. Your choice. Right? Cool. Anybody else have another question you'd like me to go over? Or, as long as I'm live, you can ask me anything. I'm live. I kind of like going live. I take that back. I love going live because I love the challenge of coming up with answers and helping you all when you need it. Don't get me wrong. I love teaching a course, each day. But when I get to come on here, whether it's you all or a webinar, and I get to, it just keeps my mind sharp. And it's so much fun to interact with you all. So tell me, what would you like me to go over math-wise? And I will do it. Also, if y'all will do me a favor and like the video, I'm going to like it myself. I hate doing that, but that way I know that you're enjoying the lives. So, anybody else have something you want me to go over math-wise? Maybe later this week I'll do some practice questions. Oh, yay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Anybody have another something I should go over? Otherwise, I think I'll do a random question. We'll play the randomator. Oh, actually, I pulled something up for this, guys. I went through. So, can I ask ChatGPT to generate math questions depending on my state? Tricks. I would say to answer that question, I would probably. I would say, if you're using ChatGPT to make questions, I would give ChatGPT, that's my shortened version of that, the types. I'm not saying that ChatGPT isn't smart, but I would definitely say, hey, you can look up your, your candidate handbook, and that will tell you the types of questions, and then say, hey, I'm taking my test in blah, blah, blah. I will try it and see. I'll try it and see what happens when I do it. But I did, speaking of, I asked ChatGPT to come up with questions from the, where is it? I promise I did something. Ha. I asked ChatGPT to come up with questions like from like the most missed questions on the real estate exam. Now this is national. But I asked ChatGPT I said, "Hey, would you come up with questions the most Googled?" You all can see here. I said, "What are the most Googled questions from, that people are asking about or looking on YouTube?" So it came up with this list, and I was thinking that points was missing because y'all are always asking me about points. So I figured let's do number 1. I don't know if it helps, but here you go. A property sells for $985,000. The total commission is 6%, with 60% going to the listing broker and the rest going to the buyer's broker. The buyer's agent then splits their share 50-50 with their broker. How much does the buyer's agent receive? Okay, so before I do this one just algebraically, let's lay out what's going to happen. We know that there's a sales price. And whatever that sales price is, we're going to multiply that by the commission rate. And that is going to give me an amount of total commission. And then that commission gets split. Some of it goes to the listing side and some of it goes to the selling side. This is usually the buyer side. So there's a percentage here and there's a percentage here. And then whatever that firm or that broker gets, there'll be an amount. And then that gets split between the broker and the agent. And the same thing over here. That's going to get split between the agent and the broker. Now, I know that seems kind of weird, but that's kind of how it's flowing. So I'm going to fill in my numbers. The sales price is $985,000. And the commission rate is 6%. And whenever you what I need to do is I'm going to multiply because I'm working down. I call this the commission tree, which I stole from Travis Everett. Shout out to Trav. And if you're going down, we're going to multiply. So I'm going to do 985 times 6. And that gives me, let's see, 985 times 6%. That gives me $59,100. So that is the total commission. That's the total commission. And what we want is how much does the buyer's agent receive? We're looking for that. We're looking for this right here. So we know we got to go on. If the listing firm is taking 60%, that means the buyer's firm is getting 40% of this $59,100. So I'm going to take the $59,100. I'm going to multiply it by 40%. And that's going to give me, you know what? It gave me 23,640. I didn't write a line, but I needed to, right? 23,640 is 40%. All right? So that's 23,640. That is what the buyer's broker received. And then that's got to be split. It says they split that 50-50. So that means the agent gets 50% of this and the broker's getting 50% of this. So I'm going to take the 23,640 and I'm going to multiply it by 50%, or I could divide it by 2. And that gives me 23,640 divided by 2, or times 50%. It gives me 11,820. And so that's going to be 11,820. I need to sell bigger houses. That's our final answer. And thank goodness that is A. That is A. Guys, I literally made this with ChatGPT. This is my first time doing this problem. I was really hoping that I came up with the right answer. I'm glad I did. That would be slightly embarrassing. And I say slightly, guys, because look, it's not like I am a math genius or a math or numbers whiz. I can make mistakes the same as you do. So, we got it right. But does this help? That is my question. Is this helping you? And according to Google, this is in ChatGPT, a problem like this is highly Google. This was the #1 Google problem. So I guess this helps you. I don't know. Want to try number 2? Do you want to try it? Okay, fingers crossed. Oh, look, there's our correct answer. All right, number 2. A listing agent earns a 2.75% commission. Their broker retains 35% of all earnings. If the sales price is $625,000, what is the agent's net commission? All right, so we are looking for how much the agent brings in. So we know, let's go back to these colors. There is a sales price. Actually, let's move this over. So there's a sales price. And then there's a commission rate. Then there's a total commission amount. Then we know that commission amount is split between the agent and what the broker keeps, which is going to give us an amount. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, holla, because then I can explain. That's the whole point of having a live teacher, guys, especially for those of you all who took this class and you did it self-study. You didn't have a live teacher. This is why I go live. I want the questions because, guys, after 20 years of teaching this, not that I don't enjoy it, but when you all ask me questions, it makes my mind think. So I like it. All right, sales price, $625. Boom, put it here. It says the commission rate is 2.75%. So I'm going to do 625 times 2.75%. Now, guys, I use the percent sign on my calculator. I truly do. God put it there for a reason. Whoever you believe in, I like to say it's baby Jesus, but whoever you want to say, if you want to pray to a tree, I don't care. Or if you think it's just random, I would tell you to use a percentage sign. If you don't have a calculator with a percentage sign, then you could change this to 0.0275. But why not use the percentage sign? So clear my calculator, 625,000 times 2.75, hitting the percentage sign. That gives me a total commission of $17,187.50. So 17,187 and 50 cents. Okay, that's not where we're stopping because we're looking for the agent's commission. If the broker is keeping 35%, well, I can just say 100% minus 35%, and that should be what? 100 minus 35 is 65%. That's what's left over for the agent. So of that 17,187.50 times 65%, that should give us 17,187.50, 17,187.50 times 65%. I got $11,171.87. I feel like that was very close to the last answer, but whichever, right? So I got 11,171.87. Oh, look. That matches. We don't care about that 1 penny. Retro. It said $11,175.63. Where did we mess up? Now, the question is, did I mess up? Or did ChatGPT mess up? So let's try our numbers again. Maybe I did something incorrectly. I'm going to redo my math. I'm going to do 625, 123, times 2.75%. So we got the 17,187.50. Great. Woohoo. Then it says the broker retained 35%. So let me just make sure. Let me do this. If I do 100 minus 35%, that is 65%. So then I took the 17,187.50, multiplied it by the 65%. Let's see, 17,187.5 times 65%. I got the $11,171.87. I'm sticking with this. So this is a perfect. Yep, you could have rounded up. It's telling me this is the answer, but I don't know why. Let me see. Let me pull up my ChatGPT again. Wait, did it give me the answers? Guys, I'm going to scroll. Let's see if it gave me the answers, the breakdown. No. Wait. I'm not scrolling through 100 pages. Why is this thing 100 pages? Is there a scrolly button here? I don't know. We're going to just go with that's the answer. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. I have no clue to why I would say that's not the answer. I will try to find out, but that's what I would go with. There we go. 11,171,875. Wait. How are you? Wait a minute. Round up 11,171. Yep. Okay. Yep. We got the same answer. Cool. Anybody seeing where we're messing up? I don't. Again, guys, you know what? I've never seen these questions before. I have never seen these questions before. I printed it and then I was like, oh, I can do this with you all to show you that, I don't have all the answers. So we're going to go with that. If somebody in the future is watching this and can figure out where I messed up, please let me know. There is no shame in my game. Ooh, let's do number 3. This is a tax proration problem. Hey, we are always asking me about proration problems, so let's go over it. A property closes on August 19th. Robot versus human. Yeah, you're right. A property closes on August 19th. Annual property taxes of $4,380 are unpaid. Using a 360-day year, how much tax will the seller owe the buyer and prorated credit? All right. I like these problems. So we know, and well, you don't know, but now you do. If you don't know, now you know. I like to say this is the year 2025, and annual taxes, I could blow this up a little bigger. Annual taxes are this amount, $43.80. And the property closed on August 19th, so that's probably right about here. Now, what it does, okay, well, let me say this. That means the seller owns the house here, and the buyer owns the house here. All right, I get that. So that means that seller owes from 1/1 through, what is that, 8/19, and the buyer owes from 8/20 to 12/30. Now, I said 12/30 because, guys, it says a 360-day year. What the problem didn't tell me is who gets the day of closing. So I'm assuming that the seller gets day of closing. But that's because where I started teaching, North Carolina, that's how we tend to do it. Your state may be different. Your state may be different, and that's cool. So what the problem is telling us is that the seller needs to pay, that's going to be a seller debit, the buyer. All right, we got to know how many days between 1/1 and 8/19. So we know we got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August. This is all 30 days. 30, 30, 30. Uh-oh. I don't know what that was. 30, 30, 30, 30. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 30, 210 days. Plus August. 17 days in August. So that's 227 days. Now, if that's 227 days, I need to find a daily amount. And my daily amount is going to be the 4380 divided by 360. So 4380 divided by 360 is $12.17 a day. So I'm going to take that $12.17 a day, multiply it by 227. Oh, remember that TV show, 227? Ah, you're right, 19 days. 19 days. My bad. It's 19 days. So that's 229 days. So, dude, you're right. Thank you for catching that. 19 days. I just wasn't paying attention. So I guess I no longer have to ask you if you remember the TV show 227, but it was really good. 229, I don't know any pop reference. Anybody got a pop reference, pop culture reference for 229? I got nothing. Anyway, so let's do this. 12.17 times 229 days is $2,786.93. Huh, I don't see that answer there. All right. Did I do it right? Let's see. Let's check my math. 4380 divided by 360 is 1217 a day. 1217 times 229. Because this would be 9, right? So that would be 210 plus 19. Right? That is right? 210 plus 19 equals 229 times 12.17, 2786.93. All right, I'm going to do as a mini one here, 1217 times 228, just in case they gave the buyer the day of closing. So 12.17 times 228, that is 277, 4.76. I'm not seeing it. Did I do something wrong? January, February, March, April, May, June, July. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That's 7. So I make sure 30 times 7, that's 210, plus 19 equals 229, 4380. I don't know. Anybody? Anybody? I'm so confused. August 19th, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. All right. That is 229 days. Let's work it backwards. All right. It's telling us the answer is 2628. So if I do 2,628 and I divide it by 229, 2628 divided by 229 gives me 1147 a day. How would they have gotten 1147? Or we could have said 2628 divided by 228 is 2628 divided by 228 is 1152 a day. And if I take our 4380 and divide it by 1147, that's 381. I got nothing. So guys, I gotta say, if this is my testing period, these were questions written by ChatGPT. I'm not liking them. Maybe we need to stay away from the ChatGPT math. What do you think? I mean, I like the questions. I just don't like their answers. You have the same number. Thank you, Daniela. You have the same number as me. I gotta say, let's give it one more. Let's try one more. Yeah, I'm not liking it for the math. For other stuff, I use it. For other questions I've done, I use ChatGPT, but this math is a little shaky. We're going to do one more. We'll do one more. Like the questions need different answers. So if you all are doing ChatGPT and you get a weird math answer, send it to me or we can go live and we'll check it out. But so far, I don't know. I'm going to have to send this back into ChatGPT. All right, here we go. Closing is April 14th. Rent is $2,400 a month already collected. Buyer gets rent starting April 15th. How much should the seller credit the buyer using actual days? All right, so we got this closing. All right, and we know it's $2,400 a month, and this is happening on 4/14, and it's already been collected. So the seller got all of this $2,400, And now the seller needs to give the buyer, they need to credit the buyer using actual days. So that means the buyer gets 4/15 through 4/30. So if we're including the 15th, that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I got 16 days because we're including the 15th. 16 days. I hope you use Google AI. You know what? I can try Google AI. You know what, Joe? I will try. That will be another day. I promise you all before this end of this week, I will do another set of math questions from a different AI source and see if it's better. Joe, let me know when you're available and I will make sure that I go live when you are available. Just for that suggestion, Joe. You choose the time. Email me. So I think you already know my email, Joe, is Candace. Okay, that's awful. Candace at CandaceEllis.com. Email me, and Joe, I will go live on your schedule because I'm very curious now. Interesting. Or, and I say this to any of you all that are watching, if you take the time, so you use Google AI, if somebody else has got some other type of AI, email me. I will go live with you at a certain time for free so we can check out if it does better than ChatGPT, because right now, ChatGPT is not looking so good. We got one right and two that I don't like the answers to. Of course, it could be me, but if it is me, somebody will watch this and tell me I'm wrong because, yay, internet. All right, so we got 16 days. I'm going to take the $2,400 divided by 30 to get a daily amount. $2,400 divided by 30. That gives me $80 a day. $80 a day. And we got 16 days. Everybody do a little prayer. Let's see if we come up with an answer that ChatGPT agrees with. So, 80 times 16. I got 1280. That's answer A. Okay. Drum roll, please. Are we getting a matching answer? I'm a little nervous. 1280.01. Okay. Boo. This will never happen on your test. You will never get answer choices this close. Never, ever, 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 ever. Good question. Hate the answer choices. This is never going to happen. The answer is A. We're good. Yay. So we're 2 for 2. 2 good questions, 2 bad questions. Should I do one more? Should I do one more? Y'all choose. We can try number 5 to do the tiebreaker. I have no clue to what number 5 is even talking about. But I'm willing to do a tiebreaker if y'all want me to. Tiebreaker yes, tiebreaker no. ChatGPT, I don't know, man. For math, but you know, free. You get what you pay for. Let's do it. All right, Joe says let's do it. Let's see. What is problem number 5? Ooh, LTV. A property appraises for $825 and sells for $850,000. A buyer puts 15% down. What is the LTV ratio the lender will use? Well, this isn't really math. This is not really math. Hey, Nature Man Lee. Don't delete this live. You were tardy. I'm not going to delete this live. This live will be up forever. So this isn't really a math question. This is more of a do you know. You know, this is a perfect example of when people in California are like, no math. Well, they could get something like this. This would be what I call non-calculator math. You got to understand the concept, right? So here's the thing. It's sold for $850, but the property appraised for $825, right? I mean, that's interesting. We know that they're going to use the LTV ratio on this, but that's not what the problem is asking. It wants to know what will the lender use? Well, that 15% is going to stay the same no matter what. They're still going to give them 15% of the 825, or they're going to require them to put, how do I say this? They're going to loan them 80, that, they consider the value to be 825. That's the value. So if the down payment is 15%, then obviously they're still going to have to put down how much? They're going to be giving a loan for the other. If I take 100%, the 15%, 100 away from the 100, if that makes sense, that's going to be our 85%. Does that make sense? I think that does. Yay. A. It's better be A. Man, ChatGPT. All right. Okay. That's good. All right. Let's try another one. A buyer needs to maintain an 80% LTV and is approved for a loan of $416,000. What's the maximum purchase price allowed? So this one, I guess, would be easiest to understand if we think about what we know about LTV. We know that if you took the value, if you take the value and you multiply it by the LTV percent, you get an amount of the loan. So if we know the LTV is 80% and we know they can't get a loan for greater than 416, what we're looking for is this. We're looking for that number. We want to know what's the highest value that they could possibly get. So if that is the case, I need to solve for this. And that means we got to take opposites. So we got to get rid of this times 80% by dividing by 80%. And what we do on one side, we do on the other, divide by 80%. So is equal to 416 divided by 80%. And that gives me I got 520. Now, should I be scared that this answer looks like it's A again? I kind of am scared. I'm kind of scared. Oh, Lordy. Did anybody else get 522? Is that what y'all got? Because I don't even know. Let's see. Peeking. Hey, the answer's A. The answer's A. Hey, the answer's A. Do a little dance, do a little dance, do a little dance, do a little dance. Hey. The answer is A. So maybe ChatGPT is coming back a little bit. Maybe. But either way, did this help? I know we started doing math in that other live, but I wanted to give you all some more math. And then, like I said, Joe Quinn, you email me. I'm going to pick a day and time to do Joe's live. And I'll put it up on this channel so you all can join. But anybody willing to do a search, like if you're willing to create some AI math problems for me to go over live, I will totally do that. Or if you do it like anything, we can do this, because like I said, I really enjoy going live with y'all. So, whew, that was a lot. We discovered that maybe it's ChatGPT. We gotta be a little careful. Anyway, guys, you know how to reach me if you need help. And I guess I will see y'all tomorrow or the next day. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining. Bye.